the north, we do expect to see still some big waves there at the lake shore. Clear skies tonight, and we're dropping into the 40s down to 48. Thursday, we start to warm up, though. Sunny and 78. We'll be back in the 80s as we head into the weekend. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
Hey, it's Fred Upton, and you're listening to The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on 94.9 WSJM.
Yes, you are. Good morning. Not only are you listening to it, but some of you folks are watching it as we are streaming live on our WSJM Facebook page, YouTube, and X. So you can find us all there, get a little behind-the-scenes look. If you haven't had breakfast yet, we say that you probably shouldn't take a look at us just yet. We don't want to make anybody queasy this morning.
Come on.
No, I'm kidding. We are two handsome fellas.
That's right.
Doing a fine award-winning program.
You can see me adjusting the camera.
Yeah.
Hi there.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
You see my tiny hands that look big on screen.
Oh, Johnny, you're wearing brown again.
I am wearing brown. You know, my mother, who watches this video, because she told me on the phone yesterday, I watch your videos. She said,
she's going to be so mad at you.
Yeah, she's going to be mad at me because every time I wear it, whether it be, you know, sometimes lighting is different and colors, you know, don't always transfer on video.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll wear like an olive green shirt, and she'll say, don't wear brown anymore.
Oh.
I was like, what? So yeah, like as you mentioned earlier this week when we were doing a lot of these videos, you're like, we need to color coordinate.
That's right,
we need to work on wardrobe.
So we're
we
not
need to do all these things, so we're not twinning it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'm chilly today because it's cold, so I'm gonna wear my brown sweater.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my mom will be upset, but that's okay. Other people will not be.
Have you had an official like color designation from a stylist of some sort?
You know,
some people are summer, some people are spring or autumn.
You know, I haven't done that yet.
You should do that and see if your mom's right.
You have a guy, I'm sure.
I wish I did.
Yeah, I'm sure you got a stylist.
I need somebody.
But anyways, if you want to check out those videos, you can do that at WSJM's Facebook page and YouTube. A lot of things in the news this morning, including Benton Township drug bust.
Yeah, there was some talk about this last Friday, and so we found some facts. The Southwest Enforcement Team SWAT West detectives, along with Berrien County Sheriff's deputies, arrested a suspected male fentanyl dealer after a brief foot chase on Highland Avenue. This happened last Friday in Benton Township. Through further investigation, the detectives obtained and executed a residential search warrant within the Blossom Acres apartment complex, also in Benton Township. And there, the detectives located further evidence of fentanyl trafficking, not just use, but trafficking. And so they wanted to shut that down. They did. The 28-year-old Benton Township man was lodged on 5 counts of delivery of fentanyl, a felon in possession of ammunition, resisting and obstructing police, and on an outstanding bench warrant stemming from a 2012 felony conviction. So Southwest Enforcement Team working on some area fentanyl issues in Benton Township.
Because that's nothing to mess with. That is a very dangerous drug.
Yes.
And it's good that it's off the streets, and hopefully this, like you said, this leads to more drug busts in the future.
Yeah, the fentanyl crisis is ongoing in across the nation, and part of the issue is the availability. It's widely available, and the cost has come down precipitously since the pandemic.
Sure.
And unfortunately, it's almost like a mail order item for some of these dealers, where they can order it from a location, they can pick it up at a drop box, a PO box somewhere, and lace just about everything. And even, you know, some of the saddest stories are kids who were on prescription Ritalin or something like that, don't have a prescription. Their prescription runs out, or they're no longer on insurance.
Sure.
They go get it off the black market, and what they're taking is not what they were getting as a prescription. It's laced with fentanyl, and in many cases, tragic cases, they end up dying. And so you don't know what you're getting out there. Stay away from it.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's off the streets. Some other things going on in the news this morning. There is an upcoming recycling event.
Speaking of unwanted chemicals.
Yeah, unwanted chemicals. And then I know in some of the recycling events, not sure if this one specifically, but sometimes they will have area recycling events and area drop-offs for prescription drugs to get
Yes.
those off the streets. But
Yep.
recycling event, this is a good one. And I think it's one of the last ones of the season.
Yeah, Berrien County residents, you have a chance to get rid of unwanted chemicals and other materials in your home with this Community Recycling Day. It's coming up in September, on September 16. Now, the Berrien County Parks Department says they will take yard and garden chemicals, used oil. For those of you who love to change your oil but don't know what to do with it after you have it, don't dump it down the drain. Recycle it. Old gasoline, unused medication, medical needles, electronics, spent batteries, spray cans, oil-based paint, electronics, hard foam. I mean, this is one of the big ones.
That is one of the big ones. And it's one of, I believe, one of the last ones of the year.
Yeah.
So this is the best time to get rid of a lot of that stuff.
So it's free to recycle everything except for TVs, monitors, and Freon containing appliances, aka refrigerators.
Sure.
Those items carry a fee of $20 for TVs, $10 for monitors, and the Freon stuff. The recycling event will be September 16, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Silver Beach County Park.
All right. Well, looking forward to that. Also, I'm actually looking forward to talking more with the Parks Department about that on Got Something to Say in an upcoming show, because what I always like to do is figure out, too, of how do I pack my car? Because that's pretty important, too, because they have, a lot of this is a drive-through event.
Yeah.
And, you want to make it work for everybody and have it be like, okay, well, down the line, where am I going to be putting this and where am I going to see those, so you don't, bog down the system.
Yeah.
Because it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Bring the oil, because that's good too, to dispose of that.
Yeah.
It's a great event that they do. And even some of that stuff that costs, $5-10.
Yeah.
That's nothing when it comes to that stuff is now going to be put to the correct use and be recycled properly instead of it going to the landfill.
Yeah, don't just dump it in your garbage can, because it doesn't just magically disappear. It goes to the landfill, and then it seeps down into the groundwater, and then we start drinking it.
And this is not stuff, if you have recycling service at your home, a lot of this stuff is stuff that your recycling doesn't take.
They get mad.
They get upset, and it doesn't go to the right place. So this is the right place for this stuff to go. So you'll be able to get more information on that at berriencounty.org, and we'll have more info, as we already do, at WSJM.com.
Right.
Here in just a little while, speaking of other things we don't want, is we don't want to pay as much as we're paying at the gas pump, and Congressman Tim Walberg is doing something special to highlight that, but also to he's trying to combat those prices.
Yeah. So the event is twofold. Number one, it's to highlight how inflation has impacted gas prices as well as everything else. And so they're going to roll back the price at a certain gas pump in Stevensville. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But also it's to highlight some legislation that he has that would go, what he says is a long way to reducing some of the regulatory burden that is increasing the cost of gasoline and cars and everything else. So Congressman Tim Walberg coming up around 7:30, 7:35.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that, and also looking forward to more news and your Bloomberg Market Minute. It's all next.
CD rates at Sturgis Bank are heating up. For a limited time, they're offering a
I'll say a quick hello to those that are watching on our Facebook as well as our YouTube and X. We are playing some commercials, paying the bills, as they say. I don't know why I say all those old school phrases. But anyways, we're going to be talking with Congressman Tim Walberg here in just a moment. And feel free if you have any questions. If you get those comments in time, if you got any questions, we might throw one of those at him.
What if their press guy is listening right now to the stream?
Yeah.
And he's going to put a softball question in there.
Maybe.
Do we have a softball detector?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
I think you and I are both good at softball detecting for sure. But we're going to talk gas prices. We're going to talk about, Congress getting back into session here very soon and some of the things that he's, focusing on when he gets back into Washington. Yeah. But also, love to know what's the gas price that you paid lately? What's at the pump?
Gosh, you don't want to know. Is over $4.
Yeah, because you're doing super premium.
That's what
aren't
my
you?
engine tells me it wants. It wants the good stuff that burns hot and burns fast.
Because your engine talks like Kit from Knight Rider, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh, yeah.
Michael, you're not following the speed limit.
Yeah, British accent and everything. Well, no, not a British accent. He's more the actor that played that also played Mr. Feeney in Boy Meets World.
The voice of Kit?
The voice of Kit.
Well, let's look
he was Mr. Feeney, and he was also a Broadway star, and he was a great guy. I think he might still be alive.
Val Kilmer.
No, not Val Kilmer.
William Daniels.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Let's see if he is. Yes, he's
still
96 years old.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. Oh, that's him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great guy. Yeah.
I love him.
Mr. Feeney, but then he was Kit before then.
Okay.
But he is from the New England region?
He was in St. Elsewhere.
Was he?
Yeah, he was Mark Craig in the drama series St. Elsewhere, which I didn't watch, but I knew it was on. I think it was in between me and whatever I wanted to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was that show ran for a good amount of time, and it was a one that people really enjoyed.
Emmy Awards. Yeah.
Yeah.
He won 2 of them.
Did he ever win anything for Knight Rider? Because I feel like,
did anyone win anything for Knight Rider?
Yeah. Well, David Hasselhoff won for most chest hair shown.
Oh gosh,
on a TV show in prime time. Actually, probably not.
Probably on Baywatch. The voice of Kit in the television series Knight Rider, George Feeney in Boy Meets World. I never watched Boy Meets World. Was that funny? Was that good?
Good show. Yeah, that was, I believe, part of the TGIF lineup.
Okay.
So yeah, it was kind of past. I think you would have been in your probably mid to late 20s by when that was really, really popular.
Okay.
So
yeah, I still didn't have TV at that point.
No TV. It was still black and white.
No, they'd come out with the color at that point, but apartment living.
Oh yeah,
TVs were heavy.
Yeah, and expensive.
Yeah,
and
expensive.
And hard to deal with.
For
sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, but great Boy Meets World, great show. They made a Girl Meets World, which was about his daughter, the boy who grew up, and his daughter.
Oh,
that was on Disney for a while.
Okay,
but I think I watched like 1 or 2 episodes. Not bad.
Huh.
But I'm not a fan of the Disney shows lately because, well, I'm not the target audience. 36-year-old person, probably not a target audience for Disney shows.
So I'm wondering how this gas event is going to go with Congressman Walberg, because every time they announce one of these, we're dropping gas prices events to historic values, you get a big traffic jam.
Yeah, that's true.
And they even added on their news release, please embargo until 24 hours before the event where this is going to be. It's going to be at the Shell station in Stevensville.
Okay.
Let me see here if we have an address. I'm sure we do.
The Lakeshore Shell?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, so traffic jam. So just be careful of traffic in that area when it happens.
All right. Let's get back to the show here,
All right,
guys.
fine. Yeah, Lakeshore Shell.
Morning Show on 94.9 WSJM.
Hey, good morning. Just about 7:30. Today going to be a pretty nice day. It's going to be a high 72, nice and sunny. Clear skies tonight, cool, and down to 48.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of down, gas prices are going to be down at one specific place.
That's right.
And we'll tell you why. And it's because, the person that's making that happen He's the guy we're going to talk to here in a few minutes.
That's right. U.S. Representative Tim Walberg. He is going to be in Stevensville this morning. They're having a Drop the Gas Price event at the Lakeshore Shell. It starts at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
11 o'clock, and it's going to be $2.38 a gallon at the Lakeshore Shell at 4559 Red Arrow Highway.
Oh,
that doesn't start till later this morning.
Sure.
But it's an effort to talk about how inflation and regulation have both combined to bring you higher gas prices. And as we're heading into the Labor Day weekend, you've got Hurricane Idalia. It's given us even more reason to see higher gas prices.
Yep, absolutely. So we'll chat with him here in just a few minutes. And right now, let's find out what's happening in the news.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Mike Alani. A Chickabee Township woman has died after a fire at a mobile home yesterday. The Berry County Sheriff's Department says they and the Chickabee Township Fire Department responded to the home at 8,000 Warren Woods Road, or in Lakeview Estates Manufactured Homes, shortly after 4:30 in the morning. They arrived to find one resident standing outside, suffering from smoke inhalation. He said there was one other person still inside who couldn't get out. Firefighters put out the fire. They found the body of 62-year-old Don Pop. An autopsy will be done at the Western Michigan University Medical Examiner's office. The man who was found outside the home was taken to a hospital in Michigan City to be treated. Governor Gretchen Whitmer is wishing Michigan students a happy new school year. Speaking on social media this week, Whitmer noted that some schools are already in session. She called on the students to make the most of the year.
Welcome back to school. I hope you're excited for a great year ahead. Whether you're learning fractions, hitting that bio textbook, or taking your first AP class, I want you to know I got your back.
Whitmer says the state's new education budget allows for free breakfast and lunch for all public school students, making their buildings better places to learn. She added the budget invests in teachers, students, and school buildings. She urged kids to get involved this year, whether through sports, academics, or clubs. St. Joseph City Commissioners have approved a high water infrastructure grant agreement to try to prevent flooding on Anchors Way. Speaking at this week's meeting, City Engineer Tim Zebel says Anchors Way is the only access to the Benton Harbor St. Joseph Joint Wastewater Treatment Plant, the Island Point Housing Development, Pier 33, Bryan's Marina, and the St. Joseph Boat Launch Ramp. While there's been flooding on that street during heavy rain for a long time, it got worse in recent years.
Flooding problems have been occurring on Acres Way for many years, and record-breaking high water levels on Lake Michigan in 2019 and 2020 illustrated why flooding on Acres Way is not an easy problem.
It says the city could hire engineering firm Wade Trim to develop a plan to prevent that flooding. One option would be constructing berms and installing a stormwater treatment and pumping system. Another option would be reconstructing the road with a stormwater collection and treatment system. Zebel says either will be complicated. The project will cost $182,000. $144,000 of that will be covered by a grant. Additionally, Wade Trim's fee will be $165,000. Zebel says it's all in the street budget. Commissioners gave the green light to moving forward. More road work will get started in St. Joseph next week. Michigan Department of Transportation spokesman Nick Sharippa says they'll begin resurfacing the I-94 business loop and M63 next Tuesday.
We're going to be repaving, resurfacing about 6.5 miles of two different stretches of road. The longer stretch is the I-94 business loop, the Lakeshore Drive from Glenwood Road to Central Avenue. And the shorter of the two stretches is M63 or Niles Road from I-94 to Midway Avenue.
Sharippa says the project will include milling and asphalt resurfacing, drainage structure repairs, sidewalk and curb ramp upgrades, and new pavement markings. Drivers should expect lane closures and traffic restrictions during the work. The $3.5 million project will continue through November 17th. St. Julian Wine Company in Paw Paw has received a $100,000 state grant to increase production. Market Van Buren worked with a winery to seek the support from the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development for the installation of a new centrifuge. In winemaking, a centrifuge is used to separate solid material from liquids. St. Julian says it currently produces about 1 million gallons of the wine a year. The new equipment will enable it to increase its wine production by about 5%, expanding its bulk customer list. Winery processes more fruit than it needs for the branded wines Excess raw product is distributed to other wineries for use in their production. Winery adds the new centrifuge will reduce its production of solid waste. That'll positively affect the Village of Paw Paw's sewer and water system. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Michael Arning.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. The 24-hour waiting period for an abortion and expanding family leave laws are expected to be two key agenda items for Governor Whitmer and Democrats in the state legislature this fall. The governor will deliver a What's Next address this morning. She says reforming family leave will help the state become more attractive to workers. In the wake of last week's tornado in Kent County, one of 7 in the state, the Board of County Commissioners has declared a local emergency. The county has also sent a second request to Governor Whitmer asking that she add Kent County to the state declaration, which they say might allow eligibility for either state or federal funding. Tonight, you'll get the rare chance to see a super blue moon. The head of astronomy at Cranbrook in Metro Detroit, Michael Narlock, says the super blue moon is when the moon is bigger and brighter and is the second full moon in a month. He thinks you'll be able to see it if the weather cooperates. I'm Beth Fisher for the Michigan News Network.
What you don't know can hurt you. HireItDone.com. I'm Adam Helfman from Hire It Done here with a quick plumbing tip for you. A lot of homeowners like to use drain cleaners on their clogged sinks and tubs without realizing the potential harm it can cause. Drain cleaner is highly caustic and can wear away your pipes over time, resulting in a costly repair job. Next time you have a clog, you're better off opting to snake the drain instead. If you're looking for a great plumber, just head to HireItDone.com.
All contractors working with Michigan businesses can win more projects by including energy-efficient rebates in your proposals. These rebates are provided by Michigan utility companies for contractors and customers completing construction projects using energy-efficient equipment. DNV, our local sponsor, can help you start your rebate journey. Visit dnvtradeally.com to learn how energy-efficient rebates can help you win more bids. That's dnvtradeally.com.
The wind speed of Hurricane Idalia dipping down to 125 miles per hour. It's now back down to a Category 3, but those winds could still be catastrophic. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis speaking with state and local emergency management officials in Tallahassee this morning.
Do not go outside in the midst of this storm. If it's calm where you are, it may be because you are in the eye of the storm, and those conditions will change very, very quickly.
Landfall expected soon. As for where, State Emergency Management Director Kevin Guthrie.
Looking like Keaton Beach is going to be the location in which we have landfall.
Commissioner of Wakulla County, Ralph Thomas.
We've worked hard and we've prepared, and now all we can do is hope and pray and ride it out.
Widespread power outages in Florida even before landfall. More than 107,000 customers in the dark this morning. Over 30,000 linemen standing by to restore power once the storm moves through. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Tuesday night in Major League Baseball, the New York Yankees won consecutive games for the first time in 4 weeks with a 4-2 win over the Tigers. The Tigers and Yankees meet again tonight at 6:40 at Comerica Park, a 6:15 pregame show on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM. Elsewhere, it was Baltimore over the White Sox 9-3. The Sox face the O's again today at 1:05, and the Cubs beat Milwaukee 1-0. The Cubs and Brewers meet again today at 2:20. In the WNBA, Kalea Copper had 22 points to lead Chicago over Los Angeles 76-75. Chicago pulls within a half game of Los Angeles for the 8th and final WNBA playoff spot. Midwest League Baseball from Tuesday, South Bend over Fort Wayne 8-3. Dayton beat Great Lakes 6-5, and West Michigan beat Lansing 5-2. Junior college sports from last night. In women's soccer with St. Clair County Community College over Lake Michigan College 5-2. And in women's volleyball, it was Muskegon Community College over Lake Michigan College 3-2. With sports, I'm Dave Wolf.
If your pre-owned car feels new, looks new, and drives like it's brand new, it's probably a certified pre-owned Ford from Campbell. Hi, I'm Brian Lairs from Campbell Ford Niles, Southwest Michigan's Ford certified pre-owned leader. Each one of our vehicles goes through Ford's meticulous 172-point inspection before it's called Ford certified pre-owned. Then we put it through the painstaking Campbell inspection, so you'll swear you're driving new. See our stellar inventory at CampbellFordNiles.com. Campbell Ford, the best bottom line is right at the state line.
Hi, I'm retired Master Sergeant Jeff Street, co-owner of Boss Services. This September 11th at 8:46 a.m., we invite the entire community to participate in our 9/11
Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Hey, good morning. You can be part of the show anytime. You can call 925-WSJM. You can email letstalk@WSJM.com, and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're there. We're actually streaming live on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube, and you can find us there as well. And we want to say a quick hello to our special guest. We were just talking with him just a moment ago. Just want to make sure and see if he is still there.
Congressman Wahlberg, do you hear us?
I can hear you.
There we go.
Loud and clear.
All right.
Fantastic. Okay. Sometimes the phones on this end do some wonky things, so we're glad to have you joining us this morning. We've got Congressman Tim Wahlberg, U.S. Representative representing Michigan's 5th District, and you are in town today. You're going to be in Stevensville later this morning talking about gas prices. Now, national gas prices, the average, according to AAA, is about $3.83 a gallon. In Michigan, it's $3.74 a gallon. I know if you that's for the regular unleaded. If you use the premium for your engine, it's even higher, maybe as much as $1 a gallon higher. But you, sir, are at a gas station today in Stevensville. We'll tell people where in a moment, but you're talking about high gas prices. Why are you talking about gas prices, and what are you going to do there?
Well, I appreciate you letting people know about this. This we did last year as well, and it drew the attention to the fact that Bidenomics isn't working, and I think we need to understand that. We want people to remember that just because gas prices occasionally go down, and we appreciate that, they've not reached the place that they were prior to this administration taking office. Joe Biden being inaugurated and implementing Bidenomics right from the beginning, doing away with pipelines, stopping the Keystone Pipeline, stopping the exploration and development of resources on federal lands, including Alaska, that we were doing very successfully to the point that we were exporting our excess fuel around the world and still having low prices. If you remember back then, during COVID and just before the president was inaugurated, it was $2.39 a gallon on average. It's never come close to that since then. So we'll be giving people a chance for 2 hours today to experience that again through the good graces of the Americans for Prosperity, the service station there as well, and letting people have a chance to benefit at least for 2 hours today from 11 to 1 o'clock for their cars and light trucks. We're not talking about bringing your recreational
trucks.
vehicles.
All right,
Yeah,
fine.
no RVs, no big gas tanks to fill up.
So this is going to be at the Lakeshore Shell at 4559 Red Arrow Highway in Stevensville. John Curtis is the owner there, so we appreciate him helping out with the gas prices here. And it's a first come, first serve situation. Again, no gas cans, no RVs, just regular passenger vehicles. But you're really highlighting what you call Bidenomics, which I see the president on his own campaign trail has started to use that as, hey, it's working. It's working for Americans. I mean, how do you rectify what the president's saying and what a lot of Americans are feeling?
Reality. I think it's political spin. It isn't working. It's not working in any area, but in this area that touches people's pocketbooks probably more than almost anything else, it is a real bane on growth and opportunity for people. And we have ways that we can put it back to $1.79 a gallon, which it was before COVID hit, by doing the things that Americans normally do. H.R. 1 is a bill that we introduced as Republicans. We passed it out of House. It's sitting in the Senate. We're hoping that people that come today and others will start calling our senators and say, listen, Michigan is hurting. It's the auto capital of the world. And if people don't have the ability to drive their cars in an efficient way, it causes real concern. It is pushing us into things that we shouldn't be pushed into as quickly as is taking place, such as EVs. My bill, the CARS Act, which would prohibit the Biden administration from implementing their aggressive emission standards for light and medium duty vehicles and also limits consumer choice. My bill rolls that back and says, hey,
let's put the brakes on that. Let's do something reasonable. We're not opposed to electric vehicles if that'll work, but let's not have a one-size-fits-all plan. Let's let the consumer and the industry decide what's best, meeting still standards for CAFE, for the emissions standards, as well as gas mileage standards. But let's do it through innovation as opposed to government mandate. And so that bill passed out of Energy and Commerce Committee, and we expect it soon to be passed out of the House and over to the Senate. So your listeners and others can talk to their U.S. senators about moving forward the CARS Act and the H.R. 1, which H.R. 1, I briefly touched on that, but that simply goes back to what worked during the Trump administration. We drilled, we used the resources, we followed environmental concern issues and developed it in a good stewardship fashion. We eliminated the problems with exporting and importing as necessary, and North American energy was really feeding the energy needs of the world. And I think that would have had a major impact on even things like the Ukraine war starting up if we'd still been sending our liquefied natural gas to terminals in Europe and other places that Russia began to serve when we cut back. So this event today isn't just a photo op. It's something to remind people that we had it better by doing principles that worked and were taken away almost on day one by this administration, and it hasn't worked since.
We're talking with Congressman Tim Walberg about a special event that you're doing later today, where gas prices will be, what, $2.39, $2.38 a gallon. And as you said, that's something that the better price, the lower price is something that I'm sure people will be very excited about. But really, the gas prices really affects a lot of things, because another thing where we're also getting really upset about is the rising cost of groceries. And really, if you've got rising costs of fuel, that also is another thing that's going to affect your food that you're putting on the table too. It hits just about everything. So it's that chain reaction. Question for you. Will you be pumping gas as well?
I won't be pumping gas, so I did that for most of my high school years and college years. I was a actual pump jockey and service technician at a local gas station on the south side of Chicago. But that was back when it was sometimes $23.9 a gallon.
Oh man!
And
let's bring that back. Can we do that?
I'd love to do that, but we'll take $1.79 a gallon or $2.39 a gallon. That'd be a great thing to accomplish as well. But I will be there, having a chance to talk with some of the people coming through the line. I found out last time they were more intent in getting to that gas pump than they were talking with me in many cases.
Sure.
But while they were waiting, I have a chance to hear some of their concerns. It doesn't have to be only on gas. It can be almost anything.
And you'll also be meeting with some constituents later on this week, actually tomorrow in Edwardsburg as well, right?
Yeah, we'll have a town hall, or as we call it, a coffee, at the Mason Township Hall in Edwardsburg. That's at 17049 U.S. Highway 12. And that'll be from 10 to 11 tomorrow. And that's a free-flowing town hall meeting. We enjoy hearing the questions of the constituents that come, as well as standing and being counted for what we've done in Congress. I think that's the responsibility of a member of Congress to report back to his constituents. So we do these town halls all over our district. And tomorrow, the opportunity will be in Edwardsburg.
So tomorrow you'll be in Edwardsburg. Today you're in Stevensville. You're at the Lakeshore Shell at 4559 Red Arrow Highway. You'll be not pumping gas, but there for constituents to talk to when they're waiting in line to get the $2.38 a gallon. Hopefully there's traffic control there, because that's a pretty good price. Hey, Congressman, the price of milk has been regulated forever in a day. Why not regulate the price of gasoline? Keep it down to $2 a gallon. Wouldn't that be fun?
Well, I'll tell you what, doing it the free market way that we did under the Trump administration worked better than that. We had $1.79 a gallon.
Oh, man. And bring that back.
And so we can do it. It's just the will of the people talking to their U.S. Senate and saying, you've got a bill over there that will go beyond Bidenomics and do something valuable for the people.
I'm picking up that you're thinking the U.S. Senate is the blockade at this point.
At this point in time, it is.
Okay.
And I think the Senate would pass it. I'd be surprised if the president would would veto it. If he did,
Hmm.
I think there's a real concern for his reelection for many reasons, but that would, I think, would satisfy any need that people have that this president is not in touch. If Bidenomics is the way to go, let him have Bidenomics and let us have free market opportunities to enjoy all sorts of benefits of letting the consumer be the king and experience what they can.
Just one last question before we let you go this morning. The Congress is coming back into session soon after their August recess to visit with constituents. We've already had the first GOP debate for those who are vying for the Republican nomination for president as a signal that we're going to get into silly season. The campaigns are going to really start ramping up. So Congress, for whatever reason, plays a role in that, in what they either pass or don't pass. What do you predict we're going to see in the next 12 to 18 months as far as legislative activity? Anything going to happen?
Well, there'll be numerous things that we will pull up. I know there are a number of days committed to suspensions, moving packages of bills across the line. Some of mine included dealing with law enforcement, et cetera. But I think the biggest issue will be relative to spending.
Yeah.
We have the 12 appropriations bills that have to move. We put in place in the debt ceiling hike, we put provision in that requires us to pass all of the 12 bills by January, or there's an automatic 99% continuing resolution that's put through automatically with no limit on the time for it. So we're hoping that that'll produce some effort in the Senate, because they hate to see any spending cuts. There are going to be spending cuts, but they're going to have to accept the fact that it'll be done rationally and not just simply a 1% across the board. But if that's what it takes to get them moving, it will at least benefit taxpayers for the time that continuing resolution is in place. 99% of this year's budget that is being spent right now.
So even though Congress may not agree on things, no government shutdown looming at this point under the current legislation.
Well, I hope not. There could be if we can't get some movement to at least look at continuing resolutions until we can force the Senate into acting. Remains to be seen. I know our leadership is working aggressively on it, so that we know that shutdowns really don't help anybody. In the end, we come back, and in all of the cases of a shutdown that I've experienced, we end up spending more to open it up again, as opposed to taking a good deal and moving forward with it. So I'm hoping my colleagues will understand that I'm as conservative as they come in Congress for the most part, and yet I believe that we're there to make this government work, do the reforms, the changes that are necessary to reduce the size, scope, and cost of government, but don't do it on the backs of our military, their families, Social Security recipients, IRS checks, and all of the rest that still have to be sent out. And if you shut government down, there are concerns there.
All right. We appreciate your time this morning. Thank you, Congressman, for joining us, and do well with the gas event today.
We'll do our best to stay out of the way.
All right. $2.38 a gallon. That's Lakeshore Shell, 4559 Red Arrow Highway in Stevensville from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock today. Congressman Tim Walberg will be there. Stop in and say hi.
Yeah, we look forward
Have
to
a great day.
You too.
You know what a Powerball ticket looks like, but what does winning Powerball sound like?
.9 WSJM.
When you want to know Southwest Michigan's business, look no further than MoodyOnTheMarket.com and the Moody on the Market app. Our wonderful team has you covered with all those stories about Southwest Michigan's business. And you can also check out the Moody on the Move series and our awards program, all right there at MoodyOnTheMarket.com. Your update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. And we're talking wine.
Yes, wine. St. Julian getting some good growth in green, some cash, so that they can expand their wine production. A state grant is paving the way for St. Julian Wine Company in Paw Paw to add a key piece of equipment that will help drive a 5% increase in their already large volume of premium wine production. St. Julian is often cited as the largest and oldest winery in Michigan.
Now, here's some of the details. They secured this $100,000 grant from the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, or MDARD, to increase premium wine production and enhance their production efficiency by adding a new centrifuge to the production process. Now, the impact of this centrifuge will go far beyond the success of the winery and will cause a ripple effect, they say,
a ripple
on the wine community.
Okay, a ripple effect. I like that.
Yeah,
with the centrifuge and wine and ripple.
Yeah,
because of the liquid there.
I like that. Did you write that?
I did not write this one. No. Nancy Oxley, vice president of winemaking at St. Julian, explained that at St. Julian they approach each harvest with the goal of making wines that can compete on a world stage. The extensive investments in winemaking equipment are game-changing for them during their most busy time of the year, increasing efficiencies throughout the process. They're excited that MDARD selected St. Julian to receive a grant supporting the investment. A new centrifuge for premium wine production will allow them to continue their passion for innovation at an increasingly competitive wine market. St. Julian's current annual wine production is approximately 1 million gallons.
Dang.
1 million gallons.
That's a lot of wine.
That's a lot of stuff. So you can read the full story about wine and centrifuges and ripples and stuff like that at moodyonthemarket.com.
And how they made that happen. That's a pretty great thing. And hopefully it does cause that ripple effect in our wine industry for sure, because we got some great ones right here in Southwest Michigan. So check out that story at moodyonthemarket.com. That's our update is brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. All right, everybody.
How'd we do?
Maybe my mother still watching. Maybe.
Is your mom on there?
I don't know. I don't know if she watches this later, if she watches it live, but she said, I always like to see your smile.
Aw,
so that's nice.
That's
Thanks,
sweet.
Ma.
That's sweet.
And if Ken's mom's watching, or if anybody's mom is watching right now, we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we'll be back again tomorrow. And if you happen to miss any part of the show, you can check out this video, but you can also check out the podcast at WSJM.com. You might have missed just a little while ago. We talked with Congressman Tim Wahlberg about his event that he has coming up at the Lakeshore Shell.
We tried to find out what color his Harley was.
Yeah.
Because we were talking with him before the interview started, and then all of a sudden our phone system went blip. Or maybe he just put us on mute.
I think he muted
Did he
us.
mute us?
Yeah, I think he
It's like
muted
these
us.
jokers.
Yes, but yeah, he has. We did find out that he does have a motorcycle. He does a Harley, but we don't know what color it is.
No.
And we're also not sure if he's bringing that said Harley to the event today. We'll have to wait and see.
My uncle says there's only one color for Harleys, and that's black.
Oh,
Yeah.
not the Harley orange.
Well, I mean, it's black and orange.
Yeah.
But I think orange would be fine. But mine is silver gas tank. And he says, no, you got to paint that thing.
Yeah, and it's a what? It's a Sportster.
Yeah, mine's just a Sportster.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah,
I can handle it.
I had some buddies that I liked. I love the classic black.
Yeah.
But I've had some that I know that have the what's the big like cruiser bike, the really nice Ultra Glide or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
I had an orange one.
Oh yeah.
And then another one was like a yellow.
Yeah.
It was like a really nice yellow.
Did it have the pearlescent on it?
Yeah, it had all that, and then he even had some lights some LED lights set up on there. It's a pretty sweet
If
ride.
you're ever interested in seeing tricked out bikes, you can look at some of the bike fests. You can look at Sturgis. You can look at Key West. They have an amazing show.
Yeah, they
so
do.
if you ever go to the YouTubes and you're just like, oh yeah, let's look up Key West bike show, they really trick them out. It's fun to watch.
I don't know if you saw this, but and I don't know who's the owner of these bikes, but I've seen some BMW motorcycles riding around here.
Yeah.
In over at I was at Silver Harbor the other day.
Okay.
And checking that out, and I saw a couple of those parked.
Yeah,
pretty
BMW
sweet
makes
bikes.
some nice bikes.
Yeah,
they make some nice bikes. My dad had a Triumph, and he was living out of California at the time, and Arlen Ness was painting stuff out of his garage and painted my dad's bike.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I
Great
wish I
stuff.
had that bike.
Yeah. I'm not a motorcycle rider. I'm just an appreciator of the wonderful motorcycles. So
yeah,
there you go. All right, everybody. We will talk to you again tomorrow.